Hello dear students, let us start our discussion about uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion. We know that when any object moving around a circular track with a uniform speed, then the motion created by such object is assumed as uniform circular motion. So what are the basic concepts used in uniform circular motion? Let us discuss now. First we have to define some different concept related to uniform circular motion, in which first the radius of the circular track, radius of the circular track. Suppose that this is the circular track and the radius center of this circular track is O, and the line joining from the center to the circumference gives the radius of the circular track. Second, this can be represented by a simple letter R, and the magnitude of the velocity or the speed by which the object revolves around the circular track, that is V. Okay, so this is the uniform or constant speed of object revolving around circular track, revolving around circular track. This is V. Okay. Third, now if object moves on the circular track from any point P to any point Q and it takes some time to reaching from P to Q, suppose that delta t, then the line joining from the center to the P and the center to the Q inclines each other by an angle of theta. So this angle delta theta can be considered as the angular displacement. So one other thing is angular displacement. Angular displacement, that is delta theta, and this displacement is maintained under the time interval delta t. Now fourth, if we are discussing about the velocity, then we have to find out that the velocity of the object at point P is along the tangential drawn from this point, and if we assume this as vector v1, and if we again want to calculate what will be the velocity of the object at point Q, then we will find out that this will be the value of vector v2, since the magnitude of this velocity is finding out as constant but the direction of the velocity changes continuously. So if there is a change in the magnitude or velocity of any object during motion with respect to time, then we can say that there is an acceleration acting on the object. So what will be the acceleration? Acceleration, that is linear acceleration acting on object, that can be defined as A, and A will be equal to the rate of change of velocity, that means v2 minus v1 divided by delta t. 4 and 5th, if object is revolving around the circular track, then the object must form some angle in a small interval of time. Then what will be the rate of change of forming the angle at the center? This rate of change of angle forming at the center must be assumed as the angular velocity of the object. So next term is angular velocity, and this can be defined as omega, and this is equal to delta theta by delta t. rate of change of angle formed at the center due to the revolution of the particle. Okay, now come to the sixth point, which tells us about what will be the relation between this angular speed and this linear velocity. It means angular velocity and the speed of the object around revolving around the circular track, that is v. What will be the relation between v and omega? So to derive an expression, relation between v and omega, since v and omega both are the vector quantity, but we have to define there is a simple relation between their magnitudes, not between the vector quantity. In next chapter, that is in rotational motion, we have derived a different equation for this, in which they are related each other in a vector form. Now we have to derive a simple formula between v and omega. So what is the relation between v and omega? To derive it, let us assume that when object start its motion from point P and goes at point Q, then how much displacement created by the particle? If we see at here in this figure, then we find that the arc length is PQ and the radius of the circular track is R, and the angle maintained in time interval delta t is delta theta. Then according to definition of angle, we can define it as what? Angle equal to arc upon radius, arc, that is PQ divided by R. So from here we get what? PQ is equal to delta theta dot R. You can write it as R dot delta theta. Okay, now what is the value of this arc length? This will be nearly equal to the chord of, because if we assume that both points are very close to each other, if we apply the delta t is very small, then if we divide by delta t in both sides, then we get what? PQ, arc PQ divided by delta t is equal to arc dot delta theta by delta t. If we take delta t is very small, then taking limit del PQ divided by delta t as delta t tends to 0 is equal to R, which is constant, cannot change with respect to time. So taking outside from the limit, this becomes delta t tends to 0 delta theta by delta t. So from here we get that the rate of change of this arc length, that can be considered as the this chord, because when we take time interval is very small, close to 0, then this arc length is considered as the chord. So this will be equal to the displacement created by the object. So this is displacement with respect to time, that can be defined as the velocity. So this will become v is equal to r dot, and this is the rate of change of angle, that is omega. So we can write it as in magnitude form, v equal to r omega. This is a simple relation between v and r and omega. So this is relation between v equal to r omega. This is relation between the linear velocity and the angular velocity of any object revolving around a circular track. Now if you want to calculate what will be the direction of the v, r and omega, as we know that if we assume that the point is situated at this point, then the position vector of this point with respect to this center is along this direction, and the direction of the velocity is lying along upward direction. So this resultant is a vector. So there are two different quantity which is also the vector quantity. So if we write at here r in vector form and omega in scalar form, then we are seeing that we have find out the direction of velocity is always lying in the direction of r, which is false. We are seeing that the direction of velocity is always tangential to the circular track at every point. So it is also a vector quantity, and when two vector quantity are multiplied to each other and their multiplication provides a vector quantity, then their product or multiplication will also as a cross product, because there is a vector quantity as a output of the product of these two quantity. So if we write this in vector form, then we can write it as what? In what direction we can take r cross omega or omega cross r. So if the object is revolving around the anti-clockwise direction, then what will be the direction of the omega? This will be along the perpendicularly outward direction. So this can be taken as omega cross r, omega cross r. Okay, if we take the omega along this direction, suppose that omega is lying this direction, so we stretch our right hand fingers along first vector and curl it along the r that is along this direction. Then thumb indicates the direction of the resultant, it means v. So in the vector form we can write it as vector v is equal to vector omega cross vector r. So now come to the point to relate the linear acceleration acting on the circular moving particle. Okay, suppose that we have an object moving from one point to another point. Suppose that at any point t, if any object is placed at any point p and at any point q, it is reaches in time t plus delta t. Okay, so the angle formed by this motion is at the center is assumed as delta theta. Then what will be the arc length and how much is the acceleration acting on this particle? Because particle changes its velocity continuously during motion on the circular track. So if we assume that there is a magnitude of velocity is v1 and here is v2, then we know that because object is moving in uniform circular motion, so the magnitude of this velocity and magnitude of this velocity is always same. So we can write it as magnitude of v1 equal to magnitude of v2, that can be taken as v. So if we find out the acceleration acting on this particle, then it can be considered as rate of change of velocity. So we have to find out a relation for this acceleration. This is very simple. If we assume that the radius of the circular track is r, then we can draw a triangle like this. This represents the vector v1 and this represents the vector v2. Then if we join the head of the v1 to the head of the v2, then it provides the vector v2 minus vector v1. So there is a angle between v1 and v2 is also equal to theta. From here, if we draw back side the v2 and front side in the v1, then the angle between v1 and v2 is also equal to the delta theta. So if we compare these two triangles OPQ and ABC, then we find out that they are isosceles triangles, because this one is r and this one is also r. So magnitude of this is equal to magnitude of this, and the angle between the isosceles sides of this triangle is equal. So they are considered as similar, and we can take the corresponding side ratio will be equal for the two similar triangle. So from here we can take BC divided by this chord PQ is equal to AC or AB divided by, okay, So from here, what will be the value of BC is equal to AB divided by OQ. This can be taken as OP. So OP into PQ. So AB, what is the value of AB? That is mod of V1, okay, divided by OP, that is R, multiplied by PQ, chord of PQ. If the magnitude of the speed is V, then in time delta t, the value of PQ becomes V dot delta t, or V1 dot delta t. This is the value of PQ, because how much distance traveled by the object. If we assume it by V, then this can be also equal to V, and the distance of PQ will be equal to V1 delta t. Okay, so this BC, that is V2 minus V1, is equal to V by R into V into delta t. So if we put this delta t in this side, then we get what? V2 minus V1 divided by delta t is equal to V square by R, and this one is the acceleration. This is the relation between the acceleration acting on the particle which is revolving around a circular track with uniform motion, with uniform speed. So this is all about the uniform circular motion related to particle, and the direction of this acceleration is always acting towards the center, and also this type of acceleration is considered as centripetal acceleration. This A is considered as centripetal acceleration. And if we assume that the mass of the object which is revolving around the circular track is m, then the centripetal force acting on this object will be m into A, and if this acceleration is represented by a symbol AC, then the AC, and the force acting on the force acting on the object which is moving a circular or revolution around a circular track, then this will be equal to mv square by r. So this type of force can be considered as centripetal force, mv square by r. This is a simple formula for the force, with the help of which you can easily solve different types of numerical problems. Okay, this is the last topic for this chapter. Tomorrow we will start the new lesson, laws of motion. Till now, take care. Thank you.